pushing out to Gulfport, they're still going to be seeing a lot of those impacts. So our area affected is really going to be fairly wide through, the Louisiana-Texas border area, all the way pushing out to Florida, Panhandle potentially, and then pushing up as it makes its way. So even though Mississippi is going to be farther inland and not maybe seeing the highest threats or most significant threats, it's still going to be strong enough to cause impacts and damage in those areas as it moves through Mississippi, moves through Tennessee. And we know a lot of these areas have even recently received a lot of rain. So there's a lot of saturation and really no more room for any of this rain to be. So impacts will maybe highest as far as most significant around, landfall in Louisiana, because that's where the strongest impacts are going to be. But it's still going to tread inland and have potential significant impacts in these other areas as it pushes through. And the only other thing, do have additional evacuations. So seeing mandatory evacuations increasing particularly in parts of Louisiana. So Terrebonne Parish and St. Charles Parish have actually evacuated their entire, or called for evacuations, mandatory evacuations in the entire parish. But then additional parishes, St. Mary Parish, for example, have at least pushed mandatory evacuations in parts of their parishes. Also seeing evacuations in Mississippi, Hancock County being one of them as well. So saw those increasing a little bit, but our window, the window for evacuation has closed for some areas. But was lots of traffic today as people continue to evacuate out of the areas. As far as federal responses, seeing FEMA is stood up. They are deploying plenty of assets across multiple states to be able to come in just in case. The Louisiana National Guard is staging their high water vehicles. Alabama did declare a state of emergency. Saw Louisiana do that yesterday, the day before. And Texas, which may see some small impacts, but they are staging some of their resources as well. And then just looking at historical, there we go, as it zooms out. So we see the path. You see this black line through here is just the current track. These lighter blue is 2020 tracks. So we see Laura, Delta, Zeta actually making landfall very similar to where, pretty much exact where current projections show for Ida, but going in the another direction. But this deeper blue is actually Hurricane Gustav from 2008, which there's been some comparison that there are similarities between the two storms. You can see that their track is very, very similar. Where they're making landfall could be similar, but they do take a different track, or at least Ida is showing a different kind of track after landfall, whereas Gustav stayed a little bit farther west and then took that curve northeastward in Arkansas, whereas Ida is going to take that sharper turn much faster. So just looking to, that identification of Gustav, like looking back just to determine, are there similarities that we can learn from looking at that storm to predict, potentially where impacts, could they be similar to there? Just looking at that is why we're just, bringing up historical to kind of dig deeper in there. But I think that's all I have, so I will turn it back to you, Jim.
All right, thanks, Lauren. We're going to turn over to Jeff Byard, and he's going to give us a ConOps brief.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. More of where we are now, and just for the team as we go into this hurricane. Obviously, me being one of the newer members of the team, so I think it's good that you hear what we got moving and kind of where my direction is going pre-storm. So we're going to put a gray shirt in the state EOC in Louisiana. She is getting ready and will be en route. We've communicated with the state leadership. They're ready for us. That individual, her role will be to coordinate between the state fire marshals who are in all the parishes, and based on last year when I went in with the route clearance team, they were the keys to success to get us in the door and let those teams start doing the work. So we will make sure that our comms are set between State EOC, both route clearance teams and the recon team, so that we're coordinated on that. Post-storm, that'll be a good area to get real-time data from the state so that we can direct the recon teams to those areas most of need, and then hit op board and hit the ground running. So I'm really big on connections. Those are the key to get us in the door, and anything pre-storm and anything immediately after that. Obviously, safety is paramount. We will not put teams in harm's way, but these teams will be located a little bit closer than we are here in Dallas. So be prepared for that. I say that also because I know we got a lot of planners and a lot of very experienced folks here. If I say something that's not in our current language or way of doing things, point it out to me, but then let's figure a way to get that implemented. So I don't want to step on toes, but if I step on toes, just call it out to me. It's not intentional. It's just how my mind works in these hurricanes. So, I'm excited to be here in Dallas and really excited, and excited, not the right word, really encouraged because I know our teams are going to do good work. And our job is to put those teams in the right position to do that good work. So that's, I don't want to know if that's con ops or just me rambling, but that's what we're doing right now. And that's what we'll drive to. Jim.
Well, thanks, Jeff. We'll call it ramblings from Jeff from now on. I think
Yeah.
that's a good one. All right, moving on. Kate, do you want to cover Mississippi and what's been going on there?
Absolutely. So I've been in constant communication with the state EOC out of Mississippi. They are operating a virtual EOC because of COVID spread. However, we are having meetings every 3 hours where we are allowed to be a participant in that, and we are excited for that connection. Just to give everybody a kind of a brief major concerns from the state of Mississippi. Obviously wind, but the Gulfport, Mississippi area has been under numerous flash flood warnings for the past 4 days. They have received about 5 inches of rain in the last 48 hours. So with the anticipated storm surge, as well as anticipated 6 to 10 inches of rain, obviously flooding is a major concern in that coastal area of Mississippi. There are 19 shelters open across the state. There are immediate evacuation orders in Hancock County, as Lauren mentioned. However, the governor, during his press briefing this afternoon, encouraged all coastal residents to seek higher ground. Boil water notices are anticipated to go out ahead of the storm. Those should take place starting tomorrow. The Mississippi National Guard is currently in the process of pre-staging their assets. They're also helping with the transport of COVID patients from coastal area hospitals more inland. FEMA has been assisting with that to date as well. With the sheltering, they anticipate opening more shelters in the state of Mississippi, and the governor has made the statement that they will not turn anyone away who is seeking that shelter. The governor also encouraged people to use back roads instead of interstate travel in order to help people in Louisiana evacuate safely. But basically, they're encouraging everybody to go north and east as soon as possible. All harbors are currently at Yankee status and will be closed as of 0600 in the morning. I will receive another update from the state of Mississippi at about 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll provide those updates in the chat. Barring any questions, back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Kate. We'll move on to planning. Ansel?
We have 2 route clearance teams, one staging in Lake Charles and the other just east of Mobile, Alabama. Each RC will have LNO team support for engagement and communication between parish fire marshals, route clearance, and recon teams, as well as a gray shirt and the Louisiana SOC, sourcing information for the teams. 2 recon teams will pre-stage and move into the disaster area. We'll have one to the east and one to the west. Again, they'll move into the disaster area following storms passing as soon as the areas are safe to enter. We're working on the op-board for route clearance as well as recon and Morno for the response. We're trying to work ahead to alleviate any deployment delays, and that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Ansel. Moving on to the other Jeff for field leadership.
Good evening, all. Currently, we're finalizing the list for the two people, or the two teams, that will be going into stage this evening. We are working on the follow-on recon teams right now as well, so we should have a finalized list for those later this evening.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Moving on to Brendan with mobilization.
This is Brenda speaking on behalf of South Branch Mobilization. Route Clearance Team 1 lodging is secured at Lake Charles, Louisiana. We are prepared to support follow-on movements. Route Clearance 2 is vetted and dispatched. 8 gray shirts will arrive tonight in Atlanta, Georgia before shifting to Mobile, Alabama. Lodging is secured for gray shirt EOC support in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. In the next 24 hours, we'll support the movement of lodging of the recon teams, and that's all I have.
Thanks, Brenda. Moving on to logistics and tech kits.
This is John. At the current moment, we're supporting Route Clearance Team 1's move from Dallas-Fort Worth to the Lake Charles area. Trailer 650 from Hammond is currently en route to the Houston rebuild site. And we're coordinating Route Clearance Team 2 from Atlanta Airport to staging area just east of Mobile. We're also providing substance for items for the recon teams. And at the current time, we have 3 branch tech kits, 4 trailers, and 1 national tech kit ready to deploy. And also we're supporting the EOC teams as needed. That's all I have.
All right, thanks, John. Moving on to John DeTomo with finance.
Yes, the one tab with Tom Barkman and Brittany Ryan is pretty much complete. I just need to know who would be the lead person on that. And other than that, we'll be continuing to work on the recon after the meeting. That's all I have.
Message received. Thank you. Moving on to Mark Homs.
So we have 3 photographers secured and ready to go out with recon. We have another photographer ready to go with the operation once that gets rolling. We've got some press coverage starting tonight with CNN doing an interview and a Fox Weather interview coming up on Monday. And that is all I have right now.
All right, thanks, Morgan. Dev or DevOps?
Yep, it's Danielle. Hey guys, so we're just updating donors as needed for the storm at this point, and we're also going to send out an operations update on Monday following the one that we sent out yesterday, which will include the latest developments for the hurricane. And that's it for us.
Thanks, Danielle. Moving on, we'll go through leadership, or we'll go right now to questions or alibis, save rounds. Anybody? Looking for hands if you have it. All right, moving on, go on to Drew.
Hey y'all, I'll be pretty quick, but I just want to thank so much everybody for stepping forward the way you have over the last 48 hours. If we haven't called on you, even though you raised your hand, please keep raising your hand. There's going to be a lot of need and a lot of folks that we're throwing at a lot of different problems over the next couple of days here. So there's still plenty of time to get in the fight. I know you guys are ready for this. Thank you so much for all the work you've done. Let's fucking keep doing it.
All right. All I'll add to that is same thing I said yesterday is bias for action. Lean in, as we say often, and don't let perfection get in the way. So, Jeff?
Yeah. Just add on that real technical terms here. Big ass storm, we need a big ass response. That's it. All right, big storm, big response. And this is the team to do it. So I'm thank you, like Drew said, but let's have that motto and let's move out. That's it.
Art, is Art on the call? If you want to say anything.
Yeah, I am. Just saying thanks team on this. I'm with Jeff on that. This is a massive storm. It's falling on the 16th anniversary of Katrina. I appreciate every one of you for what you've done to prepare us for this. Jeff nailed it. Think big. Think big. It's over as you all know, it's over a vast amount of distance. There are a lot of people who are going to need our help. I think the stat was something like 200,000 people displaced. And that's just the people that are leaving. But this is an immense storm, and I'm just grateful for each of you. So let's get shit done. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you in 23 hours and 20 minutes.
I'm trying to sell it, not sell it. You have something on here. Did you get the sign sheet done for the language? No. Here, I can do this. All right, just to go to those that have indicated their language, because I think you should, well, I guess either way. Okay, all right, and then just to let's start. But again, my concern is that not that having them sign up on this Google sheet is going to make life better, but we're in the same boat as other folks. We need to squeeze every ounce of capacity out of those that speak Dari, Farsi, Dari, Pashto, etc. And if we're just notifying people on the list, that doesn't tell, we're not squeezing all the capacity out. So you tell me. Okay. Yeah.